My sister betrayed me in the worst way. She stole my fiancé, moved into my house, and tried to take over my entire life, but what she didn't know is that I had a plan to destroy everything she built and take back what was mine.
When I walked into my childhood home and saw my fiancé sitting on the couch with my sister wearing my robe and holding my dog like she owned it, something in me cracked, not the kind of crack that comes with crying or begging but the kind that feels cold and sharp and ancient, because it wasn't just the betrayal of seeing them together, it was the years of pretending she wasn't trying to become me, the years of smiling through her little copycat moves, brushing off how she dyed her hair like mine, laughed like me, even got the same damn tattoo on her wrist and told people she came up with it first. And now here she was in the house our parents left to me, cuddled up with the man I was supposed to marry in 2 months, as if she'd finally won a game I didn't even know we were playing. They didn't even look surprised when I walked in. My fiancé had the audacity to say we were going to tell you, like that somehow made it better, and my sister, who used to cry when I left for college and say she missed me, just smirked and said, "You always had everything, it's my turn now," which would have hurt more if I hadn't already felt the ice spreading in my chest. Because suddenly every little moment from the past made sense, the way she flirted with him at family dinners, how he always brushed it off as innocent, the time I got sick and she offered to help out and spent every night at our place while I was in the hospital, all of it was building to this moment and I had been too trusting, too blind, or maybe just too tired to see it coming. I didn't scream, I didn't cry, I just walked out and went to a hotel, where I let myself fall apart quietly, because even though I felt like dying, a part of me was already planning, not just revenge, but something deeper, something final, because this wasn't the first time she'd taken something from me when we were kids. She ruined my reputation in school by spreading a rumor that I slept with my best friend's boyfriend. When I got my first big promotion, she told everyone it was because I slept with the boss, and every time, she'd smile and say I was too sensitive, too emotional, that it wasn't her fault people liked her more. But this time she crossed a line she couldn't uncross, and I knew if I didn't do something now, she would keep taking and taking until there was nothing left of me at all. Over the next few weeks, I played nice, I pretended to move on, I even met up with them both for coffee like some wounded saint trying to forgive, and they bought it, they lapped it up, because narcissists always believe they're smarter than the people they hurt, and while they were smiling and lying to my face, I was gathering every little piece of information I needed. I found out my ex-fiancé was still using his business card to pay for private expenses, which included hotel rooms and escorts, and I found out my sister had used part of our inheritance, which was legally still in my name until the will fully cleared, to fund her little online boutique, which was failing miserably but looked impressive on Instagram, and most importantly, I found out they had lied on multiple legal documents to make it seem like we had broken up months ago, trying to cover their tracks, which meant I had evidence, real, cold, legal leverage. I waited until the week of what would have been our wedding, when they announced on social media that they were engaged in planning a quick ceremony to finally make things right, and then I struck, first by freezing the account that held the inheritance, then by forwarding my evidence of financial fraud and misrepresentation to both the IRS and a lawyer I'd hired quietly, and while that storm began to brew, I called my ex's boss, who happened to be a friend of a friend, and sent him screenshots of all the expenses charged under the company card along with a polite note about potential embezzlement, and by the end of the week, not only was he fired, but the wedding venue cancelled due to non-payment, and my sister was publicly begging for donations on GoFundMe because her boutique's inventory got seized for unpaid debts, all while I watched silently from the background, never saying a word, just letting the house of cards fall. They tried to reach out, of course, first with fake apologies, then with anger, then with threats, but I never responded, and when they showed up at my door one night, screaming that I'd ruined their lives, I calmly reminded them that they had never cared about ruining mine, and then I shut the door in their faces and blocked every number, changed my locks, and took a deep breath for the first time in months, because I wasn't just free of them, I had taken back control of my life, and while I didn't feel proud of what I did, I didn't feel guilty either. Because sometimes justice doesn't come in the form of courtrooms or apologies, sometimes it comes when the people who break you finally realize they're not invincible after all. Now, a year later, I live in a new city, I have a new job, a quiet apartment with no ghosts in the walls, and a rescue dog who never leaves my side, and though I don't post on social media anymore, I keep a private album of photos titled Freedom, and the first photo is of me smiling at the beach alone the day their GoFundMe got shut down for fraud. And the last photo is of me planting a small garden on my balcony, something my sister used to say I'd never have time for because I was too ambitious, and every time I water it, I remember that growth doesn't have to be loud or dramatic. Sometimes the best revenge is simply choosing peace and letting the people who tried to destroy you drown in the chaos they created for themselves.